All right, welcome back to the Safety Net Qualifiers. We haven't thanked them yet, so I want to remind you all that this tournament is sponsored in part by CM Storm, Cooler Master, as well as Chairs for Gaming. We'll talk more about them as we get to the main event, but just keep in mind, guys, without these folks constantly supporting us, we probably wouldn't have as many awesome tournaments as we do. Spawning here in the bottom left corner, though, he's a badass when it comes to weekly cups. He's a badass when it comes to qualifiers. It's the purple Zerg player, Elazer. Pew, 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 pew.
The top right as the green Zerg, it's Minimath.
So Minimath was pretty cool the first time we got to see him. I know that we cast that one game not really knowing who he was, and we saw Ling All-Ins and we're kind of like, typical Zerg, right? Typical Zerg. But then he continued to Ling All-In every player for the rest of the WCS qualifier and actually qualified off the back end of it. And I'm talking versus Protoss, versus Terran, versus Zerg. We got to see it all. It was really impressive, actually. So Minimath has definitely impressed us in the past. The fact that he's made it to Challenge League at some point in his career is pretty cool. I don't know if Elazer ever has. Anyways, that being said, this is his EVZ, and we'll see what he has in store, if he's got any cool tactics, or if he just Ling All-Ins again.
Yeah, yeah. Minimath really isn't a cool tactics player. I expect just a speedling All-In. Unfortunately, as exciting as they are, all-ins that really hold true to their word don't really happen anymore in ZZ. You know, like we'll get really excited because they have 25 lings on the production tab, and then they use it
behind it.
Yeah, and you know they give up the attack and they drone behind it. They get a third, and the game goes on. So unless we see a very early Roach Warren, and usually it's hidden too, like in the back, the game usually doesn't end that early.
So going back to the topic of your SSD real quick.
Okay.
Have you actually installed it yet, or do you just have it?
I don't have it yet. I bought it.
Oh, like you ordered it online. Okay, sorry, I wasn't.
Yeah. I tried to time it out really nicely, right? Got 3-day shipping, so it would be here either today or tomorrow, I don't remember. And thus I would have a bunch of days free to install it without having to use my computer.
So I went full flippin' nerd mode when I got my SSD for the first time, and I just sat there restarting my computer over and over and over again because it takes like 2 seconds and you go like, whoa, is this for real?
That's gonna be so nice. What I do right now is I wake up, turn my computer on, go brush my teeth, and then go get dinner or breakfast, and then I come back upstairs and it's about ready to like go. It's like, okay, I'm good to go now. So it takes quite a while.
Well, we actually have a Ling All-In coming out of Elazer, just by the way.
Yeah.
Really cool. Stopping at 100 gas exactly. He's really doing this precisely.
Yeah, and this is, I think, an All-In. Like, we can pretty comfortably say, like, he might drone behind it, but only if he does damage. Reason being is that usually we see the Ling attacks, you know, like 20-25 Lings around like 5:30, you know, to 2 larva injects go, and that's when we start making Lings. Otherwise, you've been droning that time. He has not been droning for like the last 30 seconds. He's only at 14 drones, but
like
if it's a surprise, it's a very deadly surprise.
It's like almost a full minute earlier than you would expect too, because it's around now the injects finish up and you start your Lings. The fact that this is getting revealed so late is gonna be a little bit of panic for Minimath, but he does have almost enough creep spread to just wall this off. However, sometimes walling it off alone doesn't quite cover it. There's enough Lings hitting fast enough that they might be able to chew through that wall before it even finishes. So he's just gonna pull back fully and entirely towards the main. I think this is not a bad choice.
Oh, Queen. Oh, Queenie. So what you can do with these drones is just put them on hold position. And, you know, they'll actually bug out the Ling sometimes, but, okay, no, that works.
Yeah, the
it
whole
was kind of hard to
working
see.
pretty well. Yeah, it's like a maze. Because the Lings, if they auto-attack, they, of course, go for the priority targets in the back, these Queens, but holding on to this okay for the time being. It's getting a little bit worse. He does almost have a transfuse, but it's on the Queen that's going to die. Surround as he starts giving up the ramp, but I think Elazer is just barely chewed through this, and Minimath now in a lot of trouble. Bit ironic seeing him be the one to fall to the Ling All-In after praising him for all the ones we saw back last year in WCS 2014, but yeah, lots of drones getting picked off here. Oh boy, this is snowballing pretty quick. Now he will hold. He's got a lot of Lings that may go for his own counterattack, but Elazer didn't start droning behind this. He kept going heavy with the Lings. He kept looking to keep pushing across the map. So while his opponent's on a slightly less drone count than him, Elazer has a lot more Lings than anything else.
Yeah. Yeah, Minimath won't be able to do a very powerful counterattack. With 6 more Lings on the way, he'll still have less than Elazer. So Elazer starts on the Queen. He is starting to drone just a tiny little bit. He has done enough damage to warrant that. It really isn't enough damage to win. Without Banelings, there's not really anything we can say in terms of like, you know, luck being in Minimath's favor to get back in this game.
Yeah, they both got a really even link count right now. Concave is going to matter the most. He's going to start snowballing a little bit off this, but yeah, without Queens to add a little bit of damage, without Queens to inject what's going on, like, Minimath will eventually fall off. He knows this as well. Good game is called, and Elazer will take game number 1 in this best of 3. I was asking about your SSD, by the way, because